Thank you for joining Bartlett Bible Group. My name is James. I want to first off by stating that there's a lot of noise behind me, a lot of traffic. I do apologize. I'm trying to do this Bible study outside. It's such a pretty day. So anyway, I want to discuss future events, Bible prophecy today. There's a lot going on in the world. There's war in the Middle East. There's wars and rumors of wars. There's rumors of World War III breaking out. There's rumors of China attacking Taiwan or about to attack Taiwan. There's a lot of troubles in the U.S. economy and the world economy in general. There's been some violent attacks on Jewish students at colleges. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. A lot of people are scared right now. And I can understand why they would be. When you consider that the vast majority of people in the world, not just in the United States, but in the world, they have never read the Bible. I would say the majority of people would look at the Bible as like myths, fairy tales, that sort of thing, without ever considering that 100% of the prophecies that have been fulfilled were fulfilled exactly the way that the Bible said it would, and there are still several hundred prophecies in the Bible that's future events. And if we can look at just the past events of Bible prophecy being fulfilled, we can rest assured that 100% of future prophecies are going to be fulfilled as well. You're going to still have people say, that's nonsense, stuff like that, without really digging in. So many people want to listen to maybe what their pastors are saying or what their friends are saying, what their parents are saying, without ever getting into the Word themselves and doing the investigation themselves to see what has really transpired. I, for one, believe that the Bible is 100% accurate. It was given unto men that God chose, and the Word was relayed through them by the Holy Spirit. Now, God is holy, holy, holy. He cannot lie. He's God, He knows everything. He knew the end from the beginning, and He told us He would tell us the end from the beginning. So with that in mind, I had this little book. It's not one that I wrote. I did not write this book. It is one, though, that I give away as I have the money to buy the books and the means to give them away. I will. Haven't shipped any out or anything like that. That takes a bit more money than what I have. But when I meet people in person, I like to give this little book away. It's 101 Last Days Prophecies. It is printed by Eternal Productions, and they do have a website, www.eternal-productions.org. I would recommend maybe checking their website out. I'm not affiliated with them. I don't make no money by promoting their products. I just, I agree with what is in this book. I will say, when you're using this book, it's going to give you the book, the chapter, and the verse in the Bible. So if you have a Bible available to you, or sitting around, or get online and go to a Bible app, as long as it's a Christian Bible and it's got the books of Genesis through Revelation, you can use this to and the Bible together. So anyway, I'm not the best of readers. I'm not a great reader, so if I stumble around a little bit, I also have I'm going to say it wrong, dyslexia. So anyway, I'm just going to kind of go through this a little bit. We're going to just kind of pick some topics. There's all kinds, but I just wanted to maybe give you some examples of what's in this book. So let's just go with number 27 in the number 17 in the book. Ethnic conflicts would prevail or be prevalent. Jesus used the Greek word ethnos to describe the last days conflicts. The past century experienced unprecedented ethnic cleansing and genocide, with over 100 million purged or killed. You can read in the book of see Matthew 24 verse 7 and Luke 21 verse 10, and it will go into more details of what this little summary is. And these are just summaries. I would highly recommend you reading the Bible. So here's one that is fulfilled prophecy, actually. This is multitudes would travel to and fro. That's meaning they would just travel from one end of the earth to the next other end of the earth. Prior to the Industrial Revolution, few individuals traveled beyond their own communities. Until recently, horse, foot, and boat were the only modes of transportation. Yet today, we travel by car, bus, plane, train, subway, etc. Millions and millions are running to and fro, just as Daniel prophesied 2,500 years ago. Now, you can find this prophecy in Daniel 12, verse 4. The earth would be filled with violence. In the United States alone, violent crime has increased nearly 500% since 1960. 50 years ago, abortion, the violent murder of unborn children, was illegal in most countries. Today, abortion is legal in most countries, and 46 million children are aborted each year. Now, in this verse, or in this summary, I would actually say it's probably closer to 60 million. This book was written several years ago. So these summaries were, I think the latest estimates were around 60 million children a year. And you can find these prophecies in the book of Luke, chapter 17, verse 26, and the book of Genesis, chapter 6, verses 11 through 13. Here's a great one too. In light of all the UFO sightings and stuff like that, I'm going to address this one. Great signs from heaven prophesied. Unexplained sightings in the sky appear to be increasing. For instance, since 1947, UFO testimonies have exploded, terrifying many. Since then, thousands of identified aerial sightings have been reported annually. You can read the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 11 and verse 26, and it addresses this phenomenon. Here's one that we just went through, a major pestilence epidemic not long ago. Deadly diseases, which the Bible calls pestilences, would be common. That's Matthew, verse 24, 7, and Revelation 6, chapter 6, verse 8. Emerging diseases such as AIDS, Ebola, hantavirus, West Nile, SARS, bird flu, etc., as well as numerous re-emergent infectious diseases, underscore this fact. Ironically, just a few decades ago, some scientists were forecasting that advances in medicine might soon eradicate deadly diseases. Well, how has that? Remember, I know it really kind of started in 2020, but really I got sick in 2019 before, the pestilence that we all dealt with worldwide back in 2020 hit the world, you know. And there's more, you know, I'm hearing of more and more emerging diseases such as and viruses like the measles is sprung back in the United States. Apparently it's also going on in other parts of the world as well. And I think the measles is just a prelude of things to come. I believe that there's going to be way more infectious diseases coming up very, very soon. And y'all going to hear and I can't stop this, you're going to hear an ambulance, maybe a fire truck, race down the street. It's where I live, you know. I mean, I got a road directly behind me, and I got a fire station right up the road from me. I mean, I'm just kind of sandwiched between noise right now. So, in Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 through 18, this is just a summary, but the summary will kind of explain what these verses, Revelation 13, chapters 16 through 18, is talking about. A global economic system would exist. This was unthinkable in the Apostle John's day, yet today globalists in every level of government are seeking to unite the world. Connecting the world monetarily is crucial to their goal. Okay, well, we don't have a global economic system just yet. I mean, we do in one sense. You can use credit cards. People can take one currency from one country, and when they go to another country, they can exchange their currency for the currency of that country. In a one way, that's kind of a global thing, but it's not the kind of global thing that the Bible predicts. There will be a one world currency. Think of something like a Bitcoin maybe, or a CBDC, that's a central bank digital currency. These are things that governments all around the world, including the United States, is working on. There's more of a push, more than ever before, that countries around the world dump the dollar and bring in like a blockchain technology. That's your digital currencies. There could be many digital currencies, but at some point, all these digital currencies are going to be combined. They're going to be all controlled by one person eventually. This is a prophecy that has not been fulfilled yet, but we see the groundwork for this prophecy in the future. So if you have a hard time believing this, look up on whatever search engine you want to use, CB, that's C like in cat, B like in, C like in cat, B like in boy, D like in dollar, C like in cat, CBDC. It's a central bank digital currency. The World Monetary Fund and all these international bankers are been talking about it for quite some time. I can't stress enough, when they do manage to pull this off, all privacy will go out the window. You won't have privacy anymore. It will also be, your buying and selling will someday be controlled. There's a lot to be said. I'm going to go into this one day. I'm just going to go into that one day of how all this stuff's going to work together, and it's going to work against people. They're going to say, hey, this is going to make your life easier. This is going to protect you. This is going to give you peace and security. That's going to keep you from, people being able to steal your identity and take all your money out of the bank. There's all kinds of things that they're going to say their system will solve, but the one thing it will give them is control over you and what you can buy and what you can't buy, when you can buy it and when you can't buy it. It's incredibly dangerous to the individual freedom, and no one will be able to escape it once it happens. They say with the central bank digital currency that they're doing, it's programmable. So, like even this video, if this monetary system already existed, somebody might find a fence to it in a high place, and not only would they take this video offline, but they would be able to cut me off, where I wouldn't be able to use my money for anything until I got, in line with what they want the narrative to be. I'm prepared for that. I'm prepared, for those future events. I'm not here to please man. I'm here to serve the Lord Jesus Christ and get the truth out. So they can, people eventually one day can take all my money, and I could give a dang about it, really. I don't trust in man anyway. I trust in God. Another prophecy, it was in Isaiah 66. That's chapter 66, verse 8. The nation of Israel would be born in one day. On May 14th, 1948, Israel became a nation. Yes, the Bible, God's Word actually, talks about, it was kind of like a question, can a nation be born in a day? Well, yes, we saw that May 14th, 1948 with the birth of Israel. Now, Israel, God gave the land of Canaan, that's where Israel is today, to the Israelites. And back around 70 AD, God dispersed the Jewish people to all the nations, and they've been dispersed for nearly 2,000 years. Not quite 2,000 years, but getting right there to it. And they never lost their nationality. They relearned their language. The language came back to them. They have a history to the land. There's archaeologists doing all kinds of digs in Israel, and the ground is full of Jewish history. Is undeniable. When the Jewish people was out of their land, the land became very desolate. Nothing would grow there. Very few people lived there. There was always a remnant, a small remnant of Jewish people in the land, but the vast majority were spread out all over the world. Through the 1,000+ years, almost 2,000 years of history, many nations have occupied the land of Israel, but none of them could hold it because it didn't belong to them. When the Jewish people came back to the land started blooming again. There was hardly a tree one in Israel when they returned, and they began planting trees all over the place, and now they have healthy forests. And God said when He brings them back to their land, when He gathers them out of all the nations, that they would never be uprooted again. And any nation that were to come against Israel, try to take it from them, they would be cut into pieces. That's talking about the nations that would come to try to, say, drive Israel into the sea or try to destroy the Jewish people. It will never happen. Any person or any nations that purpose in their heart that they're going to go out and do this is to their own destruction. This kind of goes to what I was just talking about. The last days, Jews would plant forests of trees. The Bible even specifies the variety of trees: cedar, acacia, myrtle, oil, cypress, pine, and box. Isaiah chapter 41, verses 18 through 20. Since 1900, more than 1 billion trees have been planted in Israel. This has happened in our day after Israel lay barren for nearly 2 millennia. That's what we just were talking about. I'm glad that came up. Israel would prosper economically. This is Ezekiel 38, verses 12 and 13. Amazingly, this recent regathered, often attacked tiny nation exported over $54 billion worth of goods in 2010. This was inconceivable a century ago. In contrast, their neighbor Jordan exported less than $8 billion in 2010. And there's a reason why too. I mean, Israel wants peace with their neighbors. Their neighbors, which are Muslims, don't want peace with Israel. They want to take the land, and they want to kill every man, woman, and child that is Jewish. It's not just out of the land. Wherever a Jewish person is, devout Muslims in the Quran are taught to kill Jews. And it's just how it is. It's how it's always been. It's been, if the Muslim nations would put their arms down and stop trying to eradicate the Jews and you know, start building industries and creating things and exporting things, they would be very, very wealthy. Right now, their wealth comes from oil, natural gas, stuff like that. And it's made all these nations, you know, really rich nations. But unfortunately, a lot of these nations, they spend their money in war. And the United States is no better in this matter either. We spend more money on our military-industrial complex than trying to solve problems that affect every man, woman, and child in the United States. You know, if we spent even a tiny fraction, took a tiny fraction from our military and actually put it into trying to solve, medical institutions or poverty, you know. I mean, we're going to always have the poor. We're not going to eradicate poor, so poor's always going to be with us. But, you know, there's a lot of things that we could use the money for except for, you know, going to war all the time. We wasted a lot of money too, and it's just something that's going to take down this nation eventually. It says a pure nation would be, a pure language would be restored. And this is Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 9. At the end of the 19th century, the Zionist movement brought about the revival of Hebrew as a spoken language. In 1948, Hebrew became an official tongue of the state of Israel. Originally, there was only one language, and this is in Genesis 11, verse 1. And this pure speech will be restored. That's in Isaiah chapter 19, verse 18. Interestingly, Hebrew has no swear words. I think that's really interesting. I'm probably going to do another video here soon because I can't see the time on my video, and it will only allow me to go so long before it cuts out. So if it does cut out in this video, I apologize. I don't know how to edit, so if it does cut out, I will post another video and kind of continue on from there. Here's one that's remarkable, and this is one that the Hamas and Hezbollah and all them, they were saying that the attack of October 8th on the nation of Israel was because of this, you know, of this deal. So rebuilt temple in Israel anticipated. This is Daniel 9:27, Daniel 12:11, Mark 13, verse 14, 2 Thessalonians 2:4, Revelation chapter 11, verses 1 and 2. The prophet Daniel, Jesus, Paul, and John all referred to the temple in the last days. Therefore, we know it must be rebuilt. Preparations by the temple institution are nearly complete. So, you know, since Herod's temple, which came after Solomon's temple, was destroyed in 70 AD by the Romans, and the Jewish people was dispersed all over the world, with a very few remaining still in the land of Israel. Once they were regathered, the Jewish people has a yearning to reestablish another temple on the Temple Mount. We know it as the third temple. There's a lot of preparations that had to be done, like all the vessels and an altar and all the stuff that they need that was in the original temple, or at least in Herod's temple, will be needed for this third temple. One of the biggest things is the red heifer. They need a red heifer to, and it has to be completely red. It can't have any blemishes or any, no more, I think no more than one white hair or black hair or something along those lines. And when it comes of age, it's going to be sacrificed. It's going to be, the blood's going to be needed, and it's going to be burnt completely, bones, everything. And so it's going to be blood from the heifer, ash from the heifer, water, and I believe in that also there was hyssop, but I'm not 100% sure on that, will be needed to cleanse the priest that's going to be serving in the third temple, is also to cleanse the Temple Mount itself, because there's been so much blood spilt over 2,000 years on the Temple Mount, and so it has to be sanctified. It has to be cleansed before any building can take place. They can't build the third temple until this happens. The Levites, which is the priest of the temple, cannot serve in the temple until they're washed with this mixture of the red heifer's blood mixed with water and ash. So that was one of the excuses that was given for October 8th, is that Hamas knew that these heifers, and there's 5 of them in Israel right now, that could be possibly used for a future rebuilding of a temple on the Temple Mount. It will happen. It really will happen. There could even be a sacrifice of the bull, of the heifer this year, or possibly next year. And then we're kind of off to the races. It's when Israel's given the green light that they can build that temple, they will. They're probably waiting for some sort of international support. I believe that it could start relatively soon. It may also start being built after there's a peace treaty or a covenant confirmed, which the Antichrist is the one that does that. We'll talk about that another day. But I just wanted to go through a couple of these. So this is the book. Let me get up. This is the book.